Of course we're going to see this fight. They appear to be on a collision course. My goodness, one guy's the former champion that had it taken from him without a loss, and the other guy came in and picked up the belt where it left off. Obviously, these guys are going to fight. Is it going to be in 2018? That's the only part of the prediction we have to do here. I believe, and I have some sources, but I believe they're going to fight at Madison Square Garden in November. Should I end up being wrong on that? I can confirm you I'm right, that is where the direction is headed. That is what both guys have been offered, and that is what the promotion is working on. They just got to get through Conor's court date first, and that's purely PR. Conor has to do his best to act as though he is adhering to this court date and that he respects it. He's doing the best he can. He's failing miserably by buying houses in Madrid, vacationing on yachts, and going to the World Cup in Russia, and then sending those messages out. So he's failing at his goal, but his goal all the same is to appear that he's focused and respectful of the court date.
Man, there is a lot to digest here. First of all, will it happen? It should happen. It should happen sooner rather than later. Now, it's interesting that you mentioned Madison Square Garden, Chael, because I heard that the plan as of right now is October 6th in Las Vegas or December 29th in Las Vegas. For some reason or another, which I can't quite understand, it sounds like New York isn't too bullish on having Conor come back there. Now, that's crazy in my opinion. The guy sells so much. I personally think MSG is the best place for this fight, considering the Irish and Russian population there, but I think they want to have the fight sooner rather than later, and October 6th would be the best place. Now, that's not a done deal, but that's what they want. In my opinion, Chael, these two are on the greatest collision course in the history of this sport. I think that this fight can sell over 2 million pay-per-views. I think this will be, if promoted correctly, and if they don't mess it up, the biggest fight in the history of this sport. Certainly from a business standpoint. You know, there have been some great fights in the past that by the time we got to the fight, it fizzled. I think of John Jones versus Rashad Evans at UFC 145. By the time we got to fight week, that fight felt so flat. This one continues to get bigger and bigger, and credit to our production team, our great production team here, putting together that montage, because I got goosebumps watching it. This one feels real. It feels like a war. And then they end up in Russia at the World Cup, and then Conor is an invited guest of President Vladimir Putin, and Khabib is amongst the people as a Dagestani, and the history there between the two sides. And like, now this is getting political, Chael. Now this is getting serious. This feels like, you know, like this feels like a real war. So I really think that slowly but surely this is becoming the biggest fight in the history of the sport, and they need to do it sooner rather than later. And I think truly that it could sell more pay-per-views than any fight in the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Sell it, my friend. You did a fantastic job. I have to tell you, you're a little bit redundant on saying that. I mean, listen, of course, when Conor comes back, it's going to do huge business. Of course, when he takes on Khabib, it's going to do huge business. It will be a top 3 fight, and you don't have to sit there and go, hey, I told you so, Ariel. Yeah, we all get that. Thank you. We got $5 million worth of a commercial from Conor throwing a dolly at a bus that they will never stop running back there. I mean, that makes for really good things. Whenever you have a personal grudge, and particularly whenever you can have a nation versus a nation. So I love the point that you made about President Putin along with Conor McGregor posing, not posing with Khabib. I love the Dagestani stuff. Some people are going to have to go to Google to look that up, but no, that's a very real thing, and it's also historical. It's not just in the movie Rocky. Look, when it's a nation versus a nation, 2 very special things happen there. I got to be there at a Pacquiao fight when he took on Juan for the 3rd time, and I can tell you, it was incredible. And when those two cultures come together, when it was all over, Ariel, they shook hands and they walked away. It was a very cool sporting moment for me. Could this one go down the same? Yeah, I think so.
And I have to be honest, Chael, I miss Conor. I miss a Conor fight week. I miss the buzz that comes with a Conor fight week. Like, I am hoping July 26th in Brooklyn, this whole legal issue gets wrapped up and everyone is content and we can move on and we can get Conor back, Chael, because we are approaching almost 2 years. 2 years since he last fought in the UFC. I do not count that exhibition match last August against Floyd Mayweather. I miss seeing one of the greatest fighters of our generation doing what he does best. When Michael Jordan went to go play baseball for the Birmingham Barons, it was a nice little thing, but eventually he came back to the NBA. I want to see Conor back, and that's why I'm pushing for October 6th, because I need to see this sooner rather than later. We need Conor back in our sport.
Yeah, and Ariel, not just a special fighter for the generation, but a special entertainer for the history and the longevity of the sport. I agree with you. I miss him.
I cannot wait.